Hi, Mark here, trust you're well. Welcome to a recording of a live Lightroom Skills and Support session that I hosted on Monday the 23rd of February 2026. In this session we looked at mastering your keywords, specifically workflow, and I shared my experiences of how I use keywording to automate finding images. Now after that we went into our what I call Lightroom Short, and we explored what came out in Lightroom Classic 15.2 along with Lightroom 9.2, and then we concluded our time together with your challenges. What do you need help with this week? If you'd like to come and join us, just visit lightroommark.com, and below the introductory video is the upcoming events. You can click on all events and see all the narratives for the remainder of 2026. You can recap on recordings and blog posts and replays, and also check out my live one-to-one support sessions that are designed to help you with your challenges in Lightroom and Lightroom Classic. So without any further ado, let's jump across to the recording, and happy editing. Madrid down to Gibraltar, then up to Lisbon, and then back again. So
that would be quite a trip.
Yeah, they're all four. Well, Istanbul and that one are 4 weeks, same as the Malta trip, 4 weeks. So,
and I'm supposed to be fitting in a safari somewhere in this,
that's
David.
right, yeah,
you know.
and then yeah. So anybody would like to come? I've got somebody I know, Anne Merza, I think of Mies is a person. Alison Mies, that's it. She's a travel counsellor. Basically, they're independent travel consultants, and they do tailor-made travel for you. But she's got a sideline. She's a photographer. She does 2 or 3 a year safaris, and she's been suggesting to me, come on one of my safaris. Da, da, da. So as Mr. Wilkinson is treating everybody.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well done, David.
Oh, thanks, David.
Yeah. Well, yes. How many heads have I got? Yeah, come on.
So she does these. So as I suggested last week or the week before, that he's treating me at least anyway. So and Alison's got these. She does, say, 2 or 3 a year, and she's ABTA and Atoll and all the rest of it and so on. Registered. And I thought, that's so. What was the jokes now? Oh, well, let's start asking questions and how much it is and things like that and so on. But you can Alison Mead Photography, and you'll see all her safaris she does. And if you type in Alison Mead travel counsellor, you'll see all the stuff. She does all independent travel, and they're all, for a better explanation, they're people that work from home in the travel industry. They might be retired airline hostess or pilots or something, and they want to keep in the travel industry, and they have this geographic area that they can be a travel agent, shall we say. So
not the most comfortable holiday, a safari though, is it?
Well, no, her ones are VIPs.
I've just put it in I've put the link in the chat.
Yeah.
Her ones are well, Mr. Wilkinson can tell us all about it, because he goes with a butler, and they have gold slippers, and they not Land Rovers or Toyotas, they're Rolls Royces in his ones.
That's very working class, David.
Yes, I know. Yeah, the butler's called Debbie, my wife. Sorry, dear. Sorry.
Yeah, I got caught out.
Yeah, got caught out. We know your buses. Oh, there we go. So what was turned into a joke has now started. Well, Okay, well, that's how much is that? Would that cost? Because I've never done a safari.
No, right. Not as such.
Um, so, um, so and I suppose really I should, having a Z9 and a Z600 F4 and a 400 2.8, I should really go and use them in real anger rather than just photographing dolphins and deer on Exmoor National. Well, there is no dolphins on Exmoor National Park, but deer on Exmoor National Park and dolphins in the Bristol Channel. I better go and use them in real anger. But so yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. Ideas. Well, there we go. All right. So, good evening, everybody. Lovely to see you. This week we're going to look at workflow of keywords. So I'm going to show you some things that I do. There is no right or wrong way. And give you some tips and tricks. And because I've shown you the tools, how it works, but I'm going to show you how I use them. And the I suppose learning outcome is that everything's automated. So one of the things that I say historically is, where do you want to get to? If you want to go on a train journey, how do you get there? Well, where do you want to get to? And it's the same with your keywording and same with your photography. Where do you want to get to? Well, I'd like it easy to find my images. Well, then we work out a structure, a workflow that suits your mindset and your photography. And that's different for every single person. You might take elements of the same. So I'm going to show you some tools in Classic, because Lightroom's really, really easy keywording. Show you some tools in Classic that can actually speed up your workflow. And then we will look at how you can use the AI in Lightroom to speed up Classic's keywording. Some workarounds. So, right, okay, so let's start with importing. So I've got a couple of folders up here just with some images that I think they're of France. Yeah, they're of Dieppe. Okay. Just to let you know, for the photography that I shoot, I always shoot for the highlights. So my shadows are always dark. I always shoot 2/3 of a stop underexposed, or as a general statement. So I'm protecting those highlights. So you'll see that. Now, I will not do anything to start with Classic. What I will do is I will review my images. So I'll hit import and then I'll go and find where they are. So in this case, they are on my desktop and in a particular folder. So let's take this one here. So these are images from Dieppe. And I'll look at the narratives and I will decide, what am I going to import? Okay. And I batch import. And the reason why is a lot of us have got similar types of photography we enjoy. So perhaps you're a wildlife photographer. So you can automate these and keep this as a preset. So I'm going to import just these images to here. So this selection of images here. And this is a batch. This is a pillbox on top of the cliffs looking over the English Channel from Dieppe. So I've now got an idea in my head what my keywords are going to be. Now, the great thing about collections and keywords, once you've done the homework, it's always there. So before I import them, I will do my homework. And what that is I will set up things like smart collections. And this is a one-time operation. So if I'm photographing otters, I'm photographing cruise liners, I'm photographing people or whatever it is I'm photographing. I've only got to do this once, and once it's done, you don't have to do anything else to it. Okay, so I'm going to create a smart collection, and my workflow is I put KW because it's keyword, and it's the app. Okay, so the keyword down, other metadata, keyword is contains. Wait for it to hurry up. Go contains the app. All right. I always do it the wrong way around. All right. Spell right. Okay. So the keyword of the app, create. So there's my keyword of the app. Okay. Now, I can at this time, if you wish, create another smart collection. So I'm just going to duplicate it and plus pill box. Okay, so contains and contains all pillbox. Okay, or contains words. Okay, so it's going to look for Dieppe and pillbox, that smart collection. Okay, so they're just the keywords. Now, in this instance, in just this instance, I'm going to untick all these images and I'm just going to select those images there, tick the box, and I'm not going to add them to a collection. I'm not going to rename them, but that is normally as part of my workflow. I will go into the box keywords and I will type Dieppe, comma, pill box. Okay, so they're the two words that I'm adding to those images, okay? And then I'm going to say, right, put them in a particular location. Well, they were taken on the 11th, 6th of the 11th, 2025. So they will go into a folder. So I'm going to move them in this case. I'm going to move them because I want to take them off my desktop. If they were on an SD card or something like that, I'd copy them. And I'm going to put them in this folder. So I'm just going to go import. And there we go. We've imported them. I'm moving them. And if I go to the collection, there we go. I've got 42 images of Dieppe because it created the word Dieppe keyword to Dieppe. But it's also got 42 there because it's got Dieppe, but it's also got pillbox. So it meets both criteria. But it's done that automatically. Okay. Now, I've set that up as a smart collection. It's put them in there automatically. So if I go to the next time, import, and I'm going to import some more images, making sure it's new images and do not substitute. I want to put some more images of Dieppe in. Okay, so I'm going to untick and I'm just going to take these images here. They're street pictures of Dieppe. So import, put the keyword, and Dieppe is already there. I still don't know if I spelled it right. I never get it right. Dieppe and then street. Okay, street photography. Okay. And again, I'm going to put them in the date that they were taken. Okay, which was the 6th, and I'm going to import them. And you'll find this has now got 48. So if I'm now looking for images of Dieppe in the future, I haven't got to start looking here. All I do is I come to my collections and I just type Dieppe, and there they are. And I've actually got some more keywords down here. Smart collections down here. Okay. But because there's no pillbox on them, I haven't got the images in there. I've only got the street images here. Now, if there's additional information that I either need or have, I can come to my metadata. So David was saying the other week, but they might have been taken on this month and this date on this year. I can either add that information to the smart collection, or I can use the library filter bar and drill down to the particular dates and either select a range. So I'm clicking here, all of them in 2025. That's all of them in 2025. Or I can drill down further. So, I took those pictures of those otters in 2025. So otters 2025. And I knew I picked them. I can't find the images. I knew I picked them. So I go to the next one and flags and click on pick, and they're picked. And it could be I've taken them with a particular camera. I know I took them with a lens, or I know I took them with an aperture, or I knew. So here we go. These are the ones I took with my phone. So what I'm doing when I use a smart collection and filters, I'm asking questions. I'm looking in this location, or its source, which is a smart collection. So I'm only looking at 48 images to start with. Then I'm saying, right, look there, look at the date, look at flagged, look at lenses. I could look at shutter speed. Okay, so I'm looking for a slow image. Okay, down to 5, taken at 1/60th, looking for a fast image, taken at 640th second. Okay, so I'm asking questions every time, and you can ask 6 questions along at the top. You can come up to the side here, and you can add more columns if you so wish, and it goes left to right. So by batch editing, you're applying that data. Now, if the keyword is new, you go to your keyword list, you will see that it needs to be moved. So this is locate, this is a place. So it's in France. So I drag it and put it in France. Okay. Pillbox could be space. So I'm going to put it into space. Street could be space, because I'm going to put it into space. Okay. So I'm just tidying up my keywords where I'm putting them. All right. It's updating the image for the location. And what I also would do is double click on it when I first did this, and I'd untick if appropriate. The appropriate says street, untick, so I don't want to include these in export. Or another way you could do this is you could actually say, okay, so I want to type in castle as a keyword. Okay, I'm going to create the keyword first and turn off the things I don't want. A castle is a place, because you can have castles in different places. Sorry, it's a space. You can have castles in different spaces, in different places. So it's now in here. Now I'm going to go import, go back to my location, and that's a picture castle. That's a castle, 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 castle. Castle, castle. I'm just holding my command key down, untick all, and I could do shift if I wanted to. All right, so these are all Dieppe Castle. All right, just going through, clicking on them. There we go. There we go. So now I'm going to go to my keywords. And castle, and because it's come up blue, that's in my list. Okay, so it's going to take the appropriate keyword. Okay, I'm going to tick the box, make sure they're going to the right place, which they are. And then if I come down to my keywords, see, 56 now, where the pillboxes have only got 42. Now it's gone up to 87. because it's met the criteria of keyword of the app. Okay, so it's automating. When I bring them in, they're there. They're all in this smart collection. Okay, then I drill down, looking for them later. Yeah, asking more questions. Oh, I know I took that picture that I'm looking for. Or I want to sort my images. So you sit there and go, oh, I want today I want to pick, reject. I want to cull my images that I took on all the pictures of otters in 2025. So now whatever I wanted to do, there's all the answers. Okay. Now, what you could also do is create presets. So if we come up to metadata presets, this is all the information that we can give an image. Okay, so from the image data, now, some of you will know this because I've talked about this before. I used to do a lot of cricket and rugby photography. I would have this set up with all the location of the cricket ground, or Wembley, or Twickenham for rugby, or Somerset cricket ground. All this address would be permanently populated. So I didn't have to keep adding the data. Okay. And same with who owns the copyright. All that information would be there. Okay, so here we go. All this is applied to every single image on import. Well, you can add keywords. If it's blue and ticked, it will apply it to an import. Okay, so if we do the app, okay, put that in there. All right, gives a keyword. Just cancel that for a second. The app. Okay, going to keep everything the same. And now I'm going to save this as a new preset. Okay, put it there. So I've now got this preset. So I'm now going to go import. Going to select the images again. This is what I've got left. Okay, select all these, select all. And if I come over to during import, we've got metadata, diep. Okay, and now I want to perhaps add another keyword. So I'm going to add street to them. Okay, street. Make sure they're going in the right place. And that diep keyword is automatically going to be added. And if I go there, it's now 96. And there they are, imported into that smart collection. And then I can drill down later if I wanted to find them.
I have a question, Mark.
Yes, David.
So when you were importing them and you then created the keyword, ticked off because you didn't want them. I thought you said, I don't want them added, but clearly you did want the keyword added.
So what do I want added? Are you talking about in the import module?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So the center bit is what am I importing? And you have to have the little checkbox. Those are the images that you're importing. And they will go from a lights out, dull, to a full clear version.
No, sorry, that wasn't meant. Sorry.
Mark, I think what David's talking about is, when you untick the 2 or 3 boxes when you created the keyword and you didn't want them to include on export.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think that's what David's referring to.
I didn't understand why you unticked those because you were adding them.
Yeah. Okay. So it's about the container they're sitting in. This animal, pet, outdoors, kids, individuals, the ones with the capital letters, they are the title
I've got that.
of the list. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do not want the title of the list.
No, it was diep though, and it wasn't a title. That's why I couldn't understand.
Right. No, because then I don't want, see, look, it says export container containing keyword. I don't want the word France. I don't want the word place. I only want the word diep. Okay. So I'm only going to export with the word diep. Okay, so I only want cat. I only want Simon. I only want Sue. I don't want friends. Okay, because it'll appear up here. I only want the keyword up here. It'll have the greater than symbol and then the container that it's in.
Oh, I see. So it would have taken the container as well.
Correct.
Oh,
So what I'm doing is I'm telling it I only want, see, look, this one's wrong. So I need to untick those two. I only want to include the word itself, the keyword. And this is a person, okay? So, and you just update them if they're wrong or whatever in the past. You just untick them. And then when you export, so there you go. It's only going to include the word sun. Okay, so if I go to the images, a G, all right, so you don't get this less than greater than sign. Okay.
Okay.
So that's why we tick that. Okay.
All right, thanks.
Anyone else? Any questions about that?
No, but you've just answered a question as to why I've had the less than and greater than sign before, so now I know why.
Yeah, that's because they're ticked. Right? So you only want the top one ticked. Okay. If it's of a person, if it's Face ID and it's got the box in the Face ID section by pressing, I think it's O keyboard shortcut, you're only tagging, keywording the face. You're not keywording the image, it's just the face. Okay. And that's where the people box gets ticked. Okay. It's telling it you're keywording a section of the image and not a face.
If you're exporting, you're giving your image a name, like for a photography club competition.
Yeah.
Do you want the keyword at all?
It's your choice. So there's IPTC, International Telegraph Press Council, I think it is. It's either council or code. I can never remember. Can we miss the weeks? And that is the format of all the metadata for media, excluding audio. And there's things like headline, title, caption, description, GPS, location, source. These are all standard, like a car. Pedals are all the same. Doesn't matter what the manufacturer is. And that's the same. A headline for an article in a newspaper might be different to a title to the image. The headline might be "The Prime Minister meets the monarch." That's the headline of the article. But the title to the photograph might be "King Charles meets Keir Starmer" or "shakes hands with Keir Starmer." That's the title of the image, but not the headline of the article for the newspaper. So you get these fields and it's called IPTC. And you can export any of those fields or not export them by ticking the box, the little blue boxes that you saw, and it will take that information with the file when you leave Classic, export from Classic, yeah? Keywords, your information, you might want to include them or not. And the plugin that we looked at a few weeks ago will actually take your IPTC data and put it on the image. So they do watermarks, etc., and so on, where you can put your name in it, so on, and the identity plate, which is standard as a Lightroom Classic. Does everyone know what the identity plate is? Yeah, top left-hand corner, it says Adobe Lightroom, that's called the identity plate. And you can put your logo there and so on. And it will take that identity plate and put it on slideshows, or export it on an image or anything you want. And you can put it on the paper of a print, for example. Okay, so you could have your prints branded. But then you get the watermark, which goes on the image. Okay. And you can put draft, copyright, you can put your logo in there, you can put anything you want on there, okay? Well, we looked at a plugin a few weeks ago that on export, we looked on, it takes puts a border, black border around your image. That's what we looked at. But if you dive deeper into the plugin, it'll actually take the IPTC data. So, give you an example. You want a print to print, right? it'll put the title on the print or on the white border, goes around the outside. It takes it from the IPTC data, which is either the title or the headline that you've given it. So when you export, you can export whatever you want to export in the way of data. Your contact information, you might want to say copyright yourself, all rights reserved, and just have your email address. But somebody else, you might want your mobile phone number as well. You can have a preset and export it. And it's your choice whether you want to export the keywords. Why would you want to export the keywords? Because if it's on Adobe Stock, Alamy, Getty, or on your website and you want people to find it, that's what they're going to look for, the search engines. That's why it's there. And it's a personal choice. Lightroom Classic is every tool for every photographer, for every type of photography. You do not need to use it. So where do you want to get to? I want to drive to, I want to go on a train to Istanbul. How do I get there? Work out how you get there. Some things will be relevant for you. You just want to find the photograph. But you might want other people to find the photograph, or you might want a happy medium in between. So for example, there are a few good causes I support, donate my time, etc. And I'll send them an image and it will have the title as the file name and it'll have copyright and my name in it. So it will say such and such, I don't know, the Blue Bungalow, which is on Lundy, the Blue Bungalow. So I've taken a picture of this Blue Bungalow, copyright and my name, and that's the title of the file. Why do I do that? Well, I want them to know that I own the copyright. Where did we get that picture from? Well, it's the name of the file. So somebody's not technically minded to go right click and go properties and there's all the data. They can see from the file name, oh, it's the one by Mark called Blue Bungalow. Use that picture. They know, and it generates that on export for each product or whatever I wish to do. Okay, that's why we use IPTC. That's one reason why we can use keywords and so on. Every tool for every photographer, for every type of photography. Okay? Everyone all right with that?
Yeah.
Right.
I got a brief question.
Go on then, David.
You said you imported from your desktop into a smart collection.
Yeah.
So where's the original file being gone to?
So, okay.
Because you only moved it.
Yeah, when you import, you take them from your card and put them in a folder. Now, that's your destination in the import dialog, okay?
So where did you put yours?
Yeah, I'm just going to show you. My structure is a date and time structure. It's a chronological order. So you'll see here, I've got date, month, and they will go in the day and the month that they were taken, which is here. Okay, and I will select up here the date format, and there's a drop down and so on. It's just the way it's set up. Okay, so they go into November and it'll automatically create the folder. So it goes into the folder structure. Okay, so if I come down here, take this off, there's all the pictures. They're in the folder structure. I do not work in folders. There's four things: rename, move if you've got them in the wrong place, delete. Yeah.
Understood.
Right. So that's where they go.
Yeah, understood.
And they went into the smart collection because they met the smart collection is a question. Show me all the pictures that got the keyword of Dieppe. I didn't put them in there. It was automatic because on import, I applied the keyword of Dieppe. So I did a little bit of homework first by creating the smart collection. And I have one smart collection for virtually everything, as in every narrative that I'm photographing. Okay. And then I'll use, and I can even, if I go to metadata, I can say, right, so there's, show me another keyword, street. So it's saying, show me all the keywords of Dieppe now have got street, and then show me the camera. So show me all the pictures that I took in Dieppe in any time, whenever it was, that have got the keyword of Dieppe, that have got the keyword of street, that were taken with my iPhone. And there's the answer. Okay, I could throw in there date. Okay, I'm interrogating, I'm asking these questions, excuse me, and there's 9 taken because it's just a small selection. Okay, I'm asking these questions, I'm drilling down. And that's the great thing about it. I could look in folder structure, but I always work in smart collections, or collections and smart collections. A collection is a static moment in time that I've built manually. A smart collection is an interactive. If it doesn't meet the rule, if I took the word Dieppe off this image here, okay, so I'm just going to take it off. All right. Now watch. Ready? If you look at that one, it hasn't got Dieppe on there anymore. It's disappeared. It doesn't meet the rule. Okay. It didn't meet the word Dieppe on the image, so it disappeared. Okay. That's what a smart collection does. And I build the smart collections. It's a one-time action because I never have to do it again now. It's always there. I never delete it, or very rarely, unless my photography changes. But it's there.
Doesn't that mean you're going to have many hundreds of smart collections?
I've got thousands
of smart collections.
But I put them in collection sets, so they're small collections. They're small little groups, just like my keywords. I've got thousands.
Yeah,
I've got absolute thousands, and it's all about being organized in your structure. So I've got one WIP. One is right at the top. Remember, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Then A, B, C, D, D. One goes right at the top. 1 hyphen WIP. Work in progress. And it's an interrogation of my workflow. So I'll have color labels, ratings, aspect ratios, loads of questions. Oh, where was that picture? I did some work to it. Bear in mind, there's 30 years worth of work there. Yeah, films and negatives. Show me all the ones that I've scanned. Show me all the ones and then I'll drill down because I'm going, oh, I remember I was photographing this and when I was 18 years old and I've got them somewhere, but where? Got no idea. Have I got them in Lightroom Classic? Have I got to go to one of my trunks to go and get the negatives? Oh, I went with my dad when I was 8 years old and he had a Hasselblad and I've got some negatives of Brighton Steam Yard. I've got about 40, 50 images that I've scanned. Where are they? Well, when I import them, it's got the keyword of film and scanned. So I go one click, there's all the scanned images. And then I can say, show me in aspect ratio all the square ones. So that takes all the 35mm negatives out. That takes all the 6x4s out. It just shows me the 1x1, 6x6s. Yeah. By asking these questions. Okay. So, and then what I do is I expand. So I don't have this massive, great big long list. I just expand the smart collections and collection sets. So, and then I've got one for images. I've got one for projects. I've got one for publications. I've got one for cloud. I've got one for customers, clients. And in there, so the other 9 are closed, and 8 are closed, and 1 is open. And I then drill down into the ones I want. I've got thousands. It doesn't take up any space. They're only links. Okay. Everyone all right with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no right or wrong way. It's how you want to do it. Let's have a look at Lightroom. Okay. So let's have a look at some images. So go into the cloud. All right. Lightroom is quite simple. Lightroom and Lightroom Classic do not talk to each other regarding keywords. Okay. And you can, and I'll talk about syncing keywords in a minute. You can just open up the tag here and type in man, and that's the keyword. Okay, simple as that. You can copy that keyword and paste it on other images, and away you go. Okay. What's nice about Lightroom, if you're in the cloud, you can type man and it will scan all your photographs and try and find the pictures that have got a man in them. Now, it's not perfect. There's Sue and Joe in that one. But, you know, man in there, there's a man there. You know, most of them are right. Right? They're not all right. But if I type blue car, right? Well, there's, okay, 2 images are wrong. And this is what Joan asked about smart albums. You're saving this creating, clicking here. You're saving this search. You're not saving the answers. So these are blue cars. Now, I could keyword them here by placing up here, blue car. And I've now keyworded them in Lightroom. But I want to keyword them in Classic, and it doesn't talk to each other. So what I would do here is I'd create an album, call it Blue Car, and include the 8 photographs. And because it is a cloud album, albums can only be in the cloud, this will sync back to Classic. Okay? Show you something else. If I type green, all the pictures with something green in there. All the pictures of trees and green. Ever so powerful. Ever so powerful. All right? And same with people. Click on Joe. These are all the pictures with Joe in them. It's keyworded them Joe. Right? Because I've told it Joe. And it will learn and it will find them. So that's the beauty of Lightroom. But how do you use that power of AI and cloud computing with Lightroom Classic? Well, we created this album. Okay, and because it's in the cloud, an album's in the cloud, it's going to sync back to Lightroom Classic. Okay, so let's come out of here and we go to cloud and let's just type car. There we go, blue car. Turn off there. There's the images that have come from Lightroom with blue car. So now I can just put the word blue and blue car. The keyword doesn't come across, but I have identified, that's the task, I've identified blue car. Now I've added the keywords. And now all I would need to do is just tidy up the blue car, and put them in the appropriate place. So blue car, put into transport, blue, however I want to do that. What would I do for blue? Well, I wouldn't do anything for blue in my space. Don't know actually what I would do for blue in that case. Don't normally do colours. I'd have to create a new subcategory. And that's how you use the power of AI. And you can do that with people as well. As you create the album. So there's Joe. These are the pictures of Joe. I did all this because I sent it up last week. I said, and then I go Face ID. Okay. So I'm just looking in this place at all the pictures, and now I'm looking for pictures of Joe. Okay. All right. And while I'm here, I could actually do other people. So there's Sue. All right. So click Sue. That's Sue. Okay. Just click through them. Let's Sue again. Okay, let's Sue there. And actually you can click on the one and hold command. Is there any more Sue? Sod's Law, there won't be. No, there isn't. Just drag it there. So I'm looking in this place because these are faces, okay, of people in a photograph. Okay, so there's Basil. All right. So if I double click on it, that's Simon. There's, see, look, their faces. Okay. If I go back to 2.0, there's Simon. And there's Simon up there. Just drag them up there. Okay. So I've used the cloud to identify, and there's Karen. See, look, because they're synced here. Okay. It's picking up all the other people. Okay. So there's Karen. I haven't found Karen before. There's Karen there. Okay. Click. There's Karen there. There's Karen there. Just drag the 3 into Karen. So I've used the power of the cloud to find pictures of Karen. I've put them in an album, and bearing in mind, and I've narrowed it down, and I've just now got a few photographs to go through. Katrina. And because Katrina's already in there, those ones were automatically done. Those 8, she's already in my collection of people. Okay. So that's how we use the power of AI syncing back with Lightroom.
If until now you're using Classic,
yeah,
and then you start moving over to Lightroom, I mean, maybe it's just me because I do get confused very easily, but I can imagine I'm going to miss like a number of images and get confused with, because until now you've always said everything must go through your Lightroom catalog.
Yeah.
Which for me, a simpleton, makes a lot of sense. Whereas now I'm going directly to Lightroom.
Okay, so going to change subject slightly, but it's a reference to what you're saying. Canon, Sony, Fuji bought out mirrorless cameras before Nikon. You're a Nikon shooter. And I'd picked up the Fuji and loved it. But my learning curve, my mental capacity, I've got to learn all those buttons. I've got to learn all that menu. And it's not muscle memory. I was 20 plus years a Nikon photographer. Yeah, I could put my camera 200 ISO, f8, 200th of a second with my eyes closed. Because 99 times out of 100, I always, once I've taken a picture, I put it back to a base setting. Oh, right, okay, so it's just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm that setting. I can do it with my eyes closed. So your point being, should I use Lightroom? Should I use Lightroom Classic? Well, if you're going to change the whole workflow, that's a big learning curve again. What does Lightroom do? What does Lightroom Classic do? Lightroom is a newer product. It doesn't do everything that Lightroom Classic does. So you've got to learn a new workflow. You've got to learn the tools, how it works in that platform, environment, user interface. So if Classic does everything you want it to do, stay there. My philosophy is Lightroom, like Photoshop, like Topaz, like On1, like LR Timelapse, like Photomatics, and so on, Nixsoft, DxO, and the rest of that suite, they are companions. There's a particular tool that I want to use that I like, that gets me to where I need to get to quicker. So, for example, silver effects. I love silver effects. The stylization that black and white does, I cannot, with my skill sets, replicate in Lightroom and Photoshop. Don't know why. It's got a magic sauce. Heinz baked beans, Branson baked beans, Tesco's baked beans. Heinz baked bean sauce, when you cook them in a saucepan, is light all day. Yeah? Especially when you put a bit of cheese and Worcester sauce in it. Right? Totally different to the other types. And that's what Silver Effects does to my images for black and white. So it is a companion. and I use the Silver Effects tool to get where I want to get to, and then I bring it back into Lightroom Classic because I know 99% of the tools. I know 99% of my workflow. Yeah. And it's the same with Lightroom at this moment in time. Okay, with the functionality of Lightroom. If I want to take my images from my phone, from my tablet, from a web browser, you're using Lightroom. So it's a companion to Classic. Yeah? So don't change. Just embrace the tool that you want to use. Learn how to use a chisel. Learn how to use a SDS drill rather than normal high-speed drill. Learn how to use a Kango, you know, but you're building the house. Yeah? So it's identifying, oh, it's easier doing it like that, and it gets me to where I want to get to, which is back out of my camera sooner than sitting in front of my computer. And if I can use AI to help me with a mask, rather than sitting there and drawing around something for 2 hours, I'll use AI. Yeah. So I'm using the tool to help me create my image, but I do not use a tool to change the image that misrepresents what was there. Okay, so if it was a blue car, it's a blue car. That's my ethics and morals about it. I don't use AI to do that. I might tweak the brightness of it or dull it slightly or whatever, but I don't do anything else. Okay, David?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So Lightroom is really, really powerful. It hasn't got all the tools that Classic has got, and smart collections are way ahead of smart albums as far as I'm concerned. The finite details. But the idea with Lightroom is you can ask it, you can just type in, ask it a question. Yeah, red car, waterfall, Canada. It'll bring back all the pictures of waterfalls that you took in Canada. And if you've been several times, Waterfalls Canada 2025. It'll bring back all the pictures of waterfalls that you took in Canada in 2000. Well, wow, that's quick, isn't it? Then add them to an album, sync it to Classic, and there they are. Edit them. If that gets you there quicker than trying to find the image, then use the tool. Okay? So presets, saving presets, create. I've only got about 12 presets these days. Presets for your keywords and so on. Your hierarchical list, batch importing, sorting it, setting up smart collections, and it's all one click, or maybe two if you're using the library filter bar. Okay. Does that help you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone got any questions about that? Does anyone want me to go through anything about keywords? Silence. Okay. All right. We'll move on to the short then. So, as in the newsletter I sent out on Sunday, Lightroom Classic 15.2 and Lightroom 9.2. And yeah, some interesting things. So let's have a look. Is everyone updated? Do you know how to update?
Yes.
Yeah, you know how to update?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you go up to your Adobe icon here and you click on apps, and that's not apps, that's apps, and it'll go view updates, check for updates, and it'll tell you if there's any updates, and you just hit the update button. It'll say update, 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 and so on. So there was Photoshop, there was Lightroom, Lightroom Classic, and Adobe Camera Raw. Okay. Does anyone use assistant culling? Because I learned something that I didn't know. You know what assisted culling is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's in early access, and originally it's designed for portrait photographers. But I learned something this week. Well, it was last week actually. And I went, oh, okay, I'm going to turn it on because I haven't turned it on because I don't really shoot portraits. So I'm going to show you this and then tell you what the enhancement is. What it does is basically it's helping you cull your images, which is pick and reject, okay? And you can give it criteria. And the reason why, in my opinion, I gave it a bad name is it's got this eye focus. So it's set up for portrait photographers. And you can, again, ask it questions. So is the subject in focus? And this is the bit I learnt. It's not people detection, it's subject detection. So in this case, is the bird in focus? I always thought it was people detection. It's not, because the other questions are eyes are open and eyes are in focus. Well, it's people. You know, it was, in my opinion, biased towards people, but it's not, it's subject focus. And that's been out since day one. Okay, so is the subject in focus? And you can choose your tolerance level. How much in focus has it got to be? Has it got to be pin sharp or 100% in focus? Okay. All right.
But you use the eye focus on that bird. Would that work or not?
It's more of humans is the eye focus.
Okay.
That's my understanding anyway.
Yeah.
Mate. There we go. So this is the subject focus. So what is that in the develop module? So if I go to the develop module and I go to masking and I go subject selection, that's what is in focus, the subject. Due to my mistake, I thought it was just people selection, but it's not, it's subject. So is the subject in focus and what's the percentage? Okay. All right. Then you've got eyes, which is humans. Okay. Then you've got eyes are open. And you can reject, because a lot of us scan receipts with their phones and misfires. So if you're in a studio, this is why most of us thought it's only for portraits, misfires of your flash in a studio, exposure issues, and it would reject the images. Okay. So I'm looking in here and it's 1,702, it's selected and it's rejected 1,367 images for whatever it hasn't met the criteria that I've asked it. Okay. Which is, yeah, absolutely brilliant if you're looking for pin sharp image. And you can change, change the tolerance to 50% and see now I've got 2,367 selected. There's my selects. There's my reject. And it puts a little green tick that it's met the criteria. The red tick, a red X, is rejected the criteria. Okay? Or you can show them all. And you can auto stack, which will put either by narrative or by capture time. And you can batch action. Batch action means whatever the answer is. So in this case, 2,367, it'll apply a white flag. It'll doesn't do a rating. Whatever you ask it to do, whatever you tick here, it'll do. And, oh, okay. I rejected it because I'm not a portrait photographer. Now I've interrogated a little bit more. This subject focus actually could speed up. If I put it at 80%, could speed up my workflow. Will give me a starting point of, well, actually, I've only now got to go through cull manually 1,702. 1,367 of them are rejected. The computer has said it's less than 80% or 80 sharp. Yeah, or I could put it 90. So it's even less to do. Oh, right, okay. Well, that's handy for me. That speeds up my workflow. And the same with focus eyes. You could set the slider here. Photos without eyes, it rejects the photos without eyes if you want. There are all these questions. You give it a criteria. Oh, that's interesting. Right. I've learned something last week that was about the subject detection. Now, where has it improved? This is the update. It's improved with multiple people. The engine behind it has been updated so that multiple people, it gets it right better. Okay. So that's the update for it. All right. Everyone all right with that?
Yeah.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, very interesting that was.
What does it do with the ones it rejects? It doesn't delete them or anything, does it?
No. It's a false word.
Right. Okay.
So reject and remove are not permanent. You're just marking them. In this case, you're pre-marking them before you reject. Press X. Okay, so it's an automation. It's an AI type thing. Okay. You only delete, this is why I say you only delete in the folder structure, because when you go to collections and you hit the delete key, you're removing the image from the collection. In the folder structure, when you hit the delete key, same key, you're deleting the image. So working in folders, it's permanent. Working in collections, you've got that little bit of a safety net. So picking and rejecting what you like in collections gives you that, oh my God, I've deleted the wrong picture. No, you haven't. You've removed it from the collection. And then you come back a little bit later towards the end of your workflow. It might be a month later, might be 2 weeks later, might be the end of the day if you're doing a lot of culling. Then you can delete them out of the folder structure. Okay. But yeah, so I learned something last week about that. It's subject focus, not people face focus. Okay. So that was that. Okay. What else can I tell you? Right, so there's some updates in Lightroom Mobile. Oh, sorry, I didn't give any love to Lightroom. This is exactly the same in Lightroom. So if you're going to use Lightroom desktop, not on the iPad, the tablet or web browser, you've got exactly the same there, and it's the same engine behind it. Okay, so does exactly the same Lightroom and Lightroom Classic. On mobile, there is when you go to export, if you use it on your phone, there's some new presets for social media. Okay, right, let's get on to the spooky bit. Where am I going to go? So I have an image here. Okay, eyes are closed. We can right click, and this is new, totally new. It's in Lightroom and Lightroom Classic. Generate using Firefly. Firefly is the retail product for AI for Lightroom. And there we go. It's now open up the web browser and taking the image in here. And I can ask it to do something. Open the eyes of the lady. Hit return. It's going to do it. I've never done it for this image, so we're just going to say, oh, can't spell eyes or type eyes, but let's see what it comes up with. And it will generate, and I've deliberately done this to show you how long it takes and what the results are. I deliberately chose an image that I haven't done anything for. So you get a real idea. So now you can see, look at the lady. She's now got her eyes open. And that was even me misspelling it. And that uses your AI credits. Closed, open, closed, open. Okay.
Can you zoom into 100% to show how good it is?
Well, I can download it.
Oh.
Open it up. Double click on it. Re-import it. There you go.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. So yeah, so that's that. Right. So let's take another image. Right. So let's take the next image. This image here. Right click, generate, edit photo. Okay. Gonna take that there. Right, there's the image. Okay. Remove any grain, colorize the photo as if the image was taken with a modern camera in 2025. Okay. And you can actually choose the AI learning model. Okay, so there's different stylizations, different learning algorithms, language models, and so on, Chat GPT, so on. So we generate and we wait. Oh, can't spell grain. Oh, it's got a comma. I just can't spell. Right. Okay, so we just leave that to go. And whether it's going to pick up, I put an S rather than a Z. Colorize. There we go. It's tidied that. It's taken out the grain. It's colorized it. It's naturalized it for that. Not quite the right colors, but yeah, it's colorized it. There's color here. I haven't done anything. Okay. So let's go to another image. And let's go on a people. This one here, because I've done this earlier. Right click, generate video from photo. Right. There's the image. I can choose the HD, 720, what type, vertical, 24 frames a second. So there's the frame that I've taken. Turn the man's head towards me and his and wave with his right hand. Okay, so I'm asking him the computer to turn his head towards me and wave with his right hand and generate. And this is again, it's using your credits. And while it's doing it, I'll show where your credits are. Your AI balance, and click in there and so on, and it will tell you up here. There you go. So there's your AI generated balance. And for the photography bundle, you get 100. And there is a little conversion history, how many you've used and so on. And you can, before you hit return, click there and it will tell you how many it's going to use. But it's going to generate this video. Takes a little while, but yeah, not mega long. What we could do, and I'll come back to this to save you waiting. This is one in Blue Peter fashion I created early. You ready? There's the prompt. Press play. and that's taking it from a video, from a still image, by using a prompt, by using AI. And you can select the duration of the video, up to 2000 pixels. So it's half HD, or it's HD. Yeah, it's HD at the moment, not 4K. Right, so I set it right, set it wrong. There you go. There you go. And the way you write it, the permutations, etc., and so on. So that's new. And it generates it all from in AI. So that's a slightly different face it's regenerated, but the first one was the right face. So there we go.
You can't roll the credits over, can you, from memory? That's
I don't think if you buy them, I think I'll stand corrected. If you buy credits, they roll over, but the credits in your subscription aren't. And depending on your package or plan, will depend on how many credits you have each month, and then you buy new credits. Okay, so right click in Lightroom and Lightroom Classic, only desktop version, edit in Firefly, and then you can download it and so on, etc. So, and that's an extension of the Firefly in Photoshop. So you could take that file into Photoshop, and with the prompts at the bottom, you can do the same thing. It talks to Firefly in the background, changes it in Photoshop, press save, bring it back again. It's doing it on a web browser. But yeah, very, very interesting. So, so that's that. I told you about the updates on mobile, social media, changing the aspect when you go share to put it on a social media platform. You can do different crops. What else is there? Oh yeah, there's Topaz, which I don't use, but I will go through that. So let's share. Let's take this image here. Right click and generate upscale. And you can upscale, but now you can upscale in Topaz. You don't need to buy Topaz. It's if you've got a low res image or you want to make your image bigger, it uses your AI credits. You're going to use 10 credits. What's my credit balance? Got 100, can buy more. Next time it's going to be released. And you can upscale 4 times. So this is going to be shot like with a 50 megapixel camera. That's going to take 20 credits and it will regenerate the size. So they've done a deal. Either they've bought Topaz or done a deal with Topaz because their upscaler is really good. And it'll upscale. All that, but you have upscaling in Classic. And I expect it will be coming to Classic. I believe it's only in Lightroom at the moment. So you can make a file bigger. So if you are wildlife photographer and you've had to crop in, you can take that crop and upscale it. Okay, so you've used your 600mm f4, but you still had to crop it because the bird was 2 miles away. You can then upscale it with the Topaz, and it will cost you so many credits. So each month, if you upscaled it to 4000 pixel, which is a 50 megabyte file in this case, you'd only get 5 of those a month. So use it sparingly. And that's basically what's new in 15.2. Yes, there's bug fixes. Yes, there's new lens support and so on. So you've got culling. Assisted culling is now better for group photos. You've got mobile new crops for social media exporting. You've got the Firefly exporting for Classic and for Lightroom. Changing opening eyes, things like that, and so on, or changing the color. You just type the prompt and it will do it for you. Or creating a video from a still image. I've seen examples where somebody's just standing there and walk to the left, turn and wave. How does it generate that? So absolutely fascinating. And then you got the upscaling. So, which is only, I believe, in Lightroom at the moment. And that all came out on Friday. All right.
Sorry, did you say upscaling was only in Lightroom?
I believe. It's not something that I use, and because it's only been out for Friday, let me just have a quick look again. I believe it's only in Lightroom. So what you would do is you sync the image to Lightroom and do it that way. Let me just double check. I didn't see it. Upscale, but you've got upscaling in Photoshop. It's just a different formula in the way it does it. A lot of people like, especially wildlife photographers, like Topaz, but you don't have to buy Topaz. You can buy Topaz. It's a one-off annual. It's a one-off cost for that version. So if you're buying, I don't know what it is, but if it's Topaz version 10, you're buying version 10. When version 11 comes out, you need to buy it again. But with this, you can just be selective which ones you want to upgrade. But no, there's no it's kind of photo. No, it's only at the moment it's only in Lightroom. But it'll be coming. It'll be coming. It's just time. Yeah, the resources. Yeah, it's like one of the things I asked, I said that I would start looking seriously about moving fully to Lightroom was color labels. One of the things it didn't do was color labels, and that's key in my workflow. And they brought it out in version 9, but it didn't sync, just like keywords. But then 9.1 came out and it synced. Oh, that's interesting. I can do a lot more of my work. Lightroom and Lightroom Classic, they sync a lot more together now because red color label means to me I'm going to edit it. Yellow means I've part edited it. Green means I've fully edited it, and it's got keywords on it and it's ready to be made public. That's what the color labels mean to me. So I could do a load of work on the road, on my phone, on the tablet, on the train, and update the color labels, and it would sync back to Classic. Yeah, I could use my Apple Pencil and on my iPad and do a load of work on images and update the color labels. Well, that came out in 9.2. Sorry, 9.1. So that it's getting towards another big thing it doesn't do, it only does it for single images, is map module. You can find out where you took a single image, yes, but not multiple images. That's big for me, my workflow. So this is where, going back to David, I will stick with Classic as a legacy product, but over time, I think a lot of the tools I'll move across because the way I work changes. So Classic will be my foundation of my workflow, but Lightroom will take over more and more and more of my working because of how I work, where I work. Am I on a train to Istanbul? Well, I could do tons of stuff on an iPad. Now, I haven't got a little table, sitting there, but I can hold my iPad in my hand and do a load of editing and so on if I so wish. I should be capturing pictures out the window and so on a train to Istanbul, not editing. But yeah, so okay. Bit scary, isn't it, that AI?
Yeah.
So that's where you come down to your ethics and your morals. I use AI as a tool to help me do what I want to do, but not to manipulate the image. What do I mean by that? Take that car out. Take that can out. Change that total color of that something. No, that's my photography. That's my choice. But some people want to use it. I use AI to go and find all my images in Lightroom, as I showed you. Blue car. Boom. I'll use it for that. Yeah. I'll use AI to select the mask. Make it easier for me. Select that sky. Select that water. I'll use AI for that. Yeah. But where I join the line is the artistic expression or changing the narrative of the image. Yeah, taking a person out of a picture, taking this out of a picture, changing this, changing that. That's where I draw the line. So I'll use AI to make my life easier, but not to change the image. As in the narrative, the morals, the ethics of the image. Okay. But then I'll use AI adaptive presets to enrich the photograph. Yes, but I'm not changing the narrative. Yeah. So there we go. Any more questions about that? No? Okay then. Anyone got any questions at all they need help with Lightroom? No? Okay. So next week we are looking at the crop tool, I believe.
Mm.
And I'm going to explain to you how the crop tool works. Historically, people have, I feel, believe the crop tool is about dimensions, and it's not. And I'm going to show you my workflow of how I have one file, but multiple different versions of crop. So, for example, I want to do a video. Well, I need a 16:9. That's 16:9 landscape and 16:9 aspect ratio for a thumbnail for YouTube or something like that, or Facebook or whatever. So I've done a little video. I now want a thumbnail for it. I need to generate a thumbnail. Well, if you go to Photoshop and do it, you're creating another file. Well, I can show you how to do it in Lightroom and have 30 different thumbnails, but only with one file. Okay, so we'll look at that, and we'll look at some secret keyboard functionality within the crop tool and how that works. And then we've got our short. Okay.
Lovely.
Thank you, Mark.
Everyone
Thank
happy
you.
with that?
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
All right.
you.
Well, lovely to see you. And hopefully see you next week. And recording, do my best, will be up tomorrow. I've got a few Zooms tomorrow, but I'll do my best for it to be online tomorrow for you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank
Have
you.
a nice evening. Take care. All the
Bye.
best.
Cheers
Bye.
now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.